Dear Taurus, your soul, which carries the steady, grounded energy of the earth, has guided you to this moment because it senses a change on the horizon. This isn't just a fleeting premonition. It is the quiet hum of a new reality being woven into the fabric of your life. A truth is preparing to reveal itself, one that will finally give meaning to the long, silent seasons of your labor, the moments you felt your efforts were invisible, and the times you questioned your own intrinsic value. Before we delve deeper into this sacred unfolding, I want to ask you something. If you have felt this quiet, inner dawn approaching, this sense that something profound is about to shift, let me know in the comments by simply writing, "I am ready to receive." Your declaration is more than just words. It is an affirmation to the universe, a signal that your heart is open. And in sharing it, you will create a beautiful resonance with other souls on this same journey, reminding one another that you are not alone in this period of patient cultivation. For years, dear Taurus, you have walked a path that few could understand. You carry within you the strength of the mountains, a natural steadfastness, an unwavering loyalty, and a calming presence that is meant to be a foundation for others. Yet, there have been countless times when you've looked around and felt a profound sense of confusion. You've watched as others, with perhaps less diligence and less integrity, moved forward with ease while you felt held back, as if by an invisible wall. You may have started to believe that your persistence was pointless, that your sense of a stable, abundant life was a grand delusion. Let me speak a truth directly to your heart. It was never a delusion. The universe has not, for one single moment, forgotten you or misjudged your worth. What you perceived as a delay was, in fact, a sacred cultivation. You were not being overlooked. You were being protected. You were not being punished. You were being perfected. The universe needed you to tend to your inner soil in private, not so your growth would be stunted, but so you could learn that your value is not determined by the harvest. It was a lesson in self-worth, teaching you that your abundance comes not from what you possess, but from who you are. You had to learn to be your own fertile ground before the world could truly share in your bounty. What is coming is not just news in the way the world understands it, a promotion, a business opportunity, a sudden influx of money. While it may manifest through such channels, its true nature is far deeper. It is a revelation. It is an internal alignment so profound that it will reorganize your entire reality from the inside out. It is the moment when your soul's frequency finally attunes to the life you were always meant to live. Imagine a precious seed, one you've been searching for your entire life. You've looked for it in the hands of others, in the validation of your superiors, in the promises of success. But this coming revelation will feel like you are turning inward and realizing the seed was not something to be found, but something to be nurtured within your own heart. And you have just finished preparing the soil for its germination. This revelation is not a distant possibility. Its energy is already gathering around you. It's in the quiet moments when you feel a sudden surge of peace for no apparent reason. It's in the dreams where you see yourself standing on solid ground, feeling secure and prosperous. It's in the strange sense of calm that has begun to settle over you, even amidst lingering uncertainty. Your soul already knows what is coming and is preparing your vessel to hold a much greater abundance. I once worked with a client, a wonderfully patient woman with a gardener's heart. For years, she diligently tended a small plot of land, improving the soil and creating a lush sanctuary, though it yielded only modest crops. She watched her neighbors make quick money on flashy ventures. She came to me, her spirit weary, and asked, "Why is my hard work not paying off? Was I wrong to believe in this slow path?" We worked together, not on making her garden more profitable, but on helping her recognize the sacredness of her own labor and her connection to the earth, independent of any harvest. Months later, a prominent developer, someone she'd never met, happened to pass by and was struck not by the house, but by the vibrant life force of the land she had so lovingly cultivated. That encounter didn't give her her worth. It simply reflected the worth she had finally learned to hold for herself. The news of his lucrative offer for the land was merely an echo of the internal shift she had already made. This, dear Taurus, is the nature of the shift that is coming for you. It will not be a reward for your suffering. It will be the natural consequence of your growth. People and opportunities are about to align with you, not because you've finally proven yourself, but because you have finally, truly, and unconditionally accepted your own worth. The universe wasn't waiting for you to be good enough. It was waiting for you to understand that you always were. The reason this shift will feel so potent is that it carries with it a fundamental change in how your energy is perceived. For a long time, your stability may have been filtered through a lens of anxiety about scarcity or fatigue. You may have been radiating a plea for security, which can, paradoxically, repel the very thing it seeks. But now, that filter is dissolving. You are beginning to radiate pure, self-assured peace. It is the difference between a house built on sand and the bedrock itself. One is desperate for support. The other is the support. You are becoming the foundation. And when this happens, a chain reaction is set in motion. People who once overlooked your quiet contributions will suddenly feel drawn to your stability. They won't know why, but they will feel a sense of authenticity and reliability in you that is undeniable. Opportunities that seemed locked behind impenetrable doors will suddenly swing open. This is not magic. It is the physics of the soul. The world is a mirror, and it is finally beginning to reflect the magnificent truth you are learning to hold within. This revelation, when it arrives, will come to validate everything you have ever known in your heart to be true. It will affirm that your intuition about a secure, prosperous life was not a fantasy, it was wisdom. It will prove that your persistence was not stubbornness. It was a testament to your soul's incredible strength. The Buddha taught that our lives are shaped by our minds. You have held a vision of a solid life, and though your faith may have wavered, that vision never truly left you. It acted as a silent blueprint, and now the construction is ready to begin. The form it takes may be subtle. Do not expect a thunderclap or a dramatic announcement. Spirit often works in whispers, It might be a seemingly casual conversation with a stranger who says something that unlocks a new perspective on your finances. It could be an offer from someone you haven't heard from in years, presenting a collaboration that provides the stability you once only dreamed of. It may even be a moment of quiet solitude, where an idea for creating tangible value lands in your mind with such clarity and force that it changes your direction forever. You must be prepared to recognize it, for it will likely come disguised as something ordinary. Your test is not to wait for a miracle, but to see the miracle in the mundane. Over the next few days and weeks, pay attention to the signs. Notice when people start asking for your practical advice, not out of courtesy, but out of genuine respect for your wisdom. Listen for when you feel a deep, grounding yes in your body. Feel into the moments when you are the calm in the storm for others, not because you try, but because your centeredness has become a quiet anchor. These are not coincidences. They are the heralds of the main event. They are the universe's way of showing you that your energetic signature has changed. You are no longer broadcasting a frequency of "when will I have enough?" You are now broadcasting a frequency of "I am enough." And I need to speak to the part of you that is still tender, the part that holds the wounds of the past. Every frustration, every delay, every moment you felt your hard work went unappreciated, none of it was in vain. These experiences were the pressure that turned your soul into a diamond. Without the moments of humility, you would not have the grace to handle the abundance that is coming. Without the periods of solitude, you would not have cultivated the inner depth that will make you a truly wise and reliable presence. The universe was not just preparing a bountiful harvest for you. It was preparing you to be a steward worthy of it, a builder who creates not from ego, but with a grateful and generous heart. When this revelation finally anchors in your reality, you may feel a moment of disbelief. After years of toil, receiving things with ease can feel overwhelming. You might think, "Is this real? Do I deserve this?" This is a normal human reaction. Let it pass, because what will follow is a surge of energy so profound it will feel like every cell in your body is relaxing into a state of peace. It will be the feeling of finally coming home to yourself. You will no longer feel like you are struggling to build a life. You will know with unshakable certainty that you are the creator of your own security. This shift will do more than change your external circumstances. It will heal you from the inside out. It will mend the quiet wounds of anxiety you may have buried long ago. It will restore your faith in your own power to create and sustain. I remember speaking with an elderly carpenter, a Taurus, who had spent his life creating beautiful, sturdy furniture, but always undersold his work. He felt lost after retirement, but one day, his granddaughter asked him to teach a local woodworking class. At first, he refused, saying, "Oh, nobody wants to learn these old ways," but he was coaxed into it. The moment he stood before that small group, sharing his craft, something inside him solidified. He told me, "It wasn't about the money. It was about feeling the value in my own hands, filling the space. For the first time, I wasn't just a worker, I was a master." That is the feeling that awaits you. You are about to feel the true weight and value of your own being, clear and true. This recognition will bring with it a cascade of opportunities. It will not be a single event, but the opening of a grand gate. Behind it, you will find a fertile valley filled with potential. Projects will find you. People who resonate with your integrity will appear. Resources you need will manifest. Your only task is to walk through that gate with courage and an open heart. And as you become more prosperous, you will discover one of the most beautiful truths of your Taurus nature. Your abundance is not just for you. As you step into your power, you become a living permission slip for others to do the same. Your story of perseverance and eventual self-realization will be a beacon of hope for every person who has ever felt worn down by the world. Your success will not be a source of envy. It will be a source of security for others. You will learn that the greatest expression of wealth is not in hoarding, but in creating a foundation upon which others can also build. So when it happens, dear Taurus, allow yourself to receive. Do not downplay it. Do not shrink back into false modesty. This is your moment. Inhale it. Acknowledge the long journey it took to get here. You have earned this, not by pleasing others, but by finally having the courage to value yourself. With this new level of stability will come a new sense of responsibility, but you will not find it burdensome. You will realize you were chosen for this path, not just to achieve your own dreams, but to use your position to ground and enrich the world around you. The news that is coming is, in truth, news about you. It is the world finally catching up to the truth of who you have become. It will resolve issues in your life, not through external intervention, but because you will be operating from a new level of consciousness where old anxieties simply cannot exist. Financial blockages may dissolve as you align with your true worth. Strained relationships may heal as you begin to interact from a place of wholeness rather than need. Remember, this is not an endpoint. It is the true beginning. It is the start of a life lived in full color, where your capacities are utilized, your potential is explored, and your heart is finally at peace. You will look back at the person you were, the one who waited, who hoped, who sometimes despaired, and you will feel a profound sense of love and gratitude for them. You will thank them for never giving up, for holding on to the blueprint of a better life in the darkest of nights. Trust your senses in the coming days. They are your most reliable compass. You don't need to have a grand plan. You just need to stay open, stay present, and be willing to say yes to the life that is calling you forward. You have been preparing for this your entire life. The universe does not sow a precious seed in ground that is not ready to sustain a mighty tree. Your harvest has come, not because the world has decided to give it to you, but because you have finally recognized that you are the fertile ground. And that, dear Taurus, is the most abundant revelation of all. Everything you have waited for was worth it, for it was not a destination you were traveling to, but a person you were becoming. And now you have arrived